It's Live with Dr. Ken, and this is Dr. Ken Stortz at Visible Music College, founder and president of the Christian Music College here in Memphis, Tennessee, Chicago, Illinois, Lansing, Lansing, Illinois, Dallas, Texas, Atascadero, California, and partner sites all over the world, students everywhere, online and in person. So I'm here to talk to you this morning about how to make content for your site. I'm not going to show you how to press buttons. The first, search button you know about already is YouTube. Basically, people live on YouTube. But I want to give you 3 principles for making content for your site. I've talked previously about your identity, to build everything from your identity. I've talked to you about presentation, being ready to talk to people, to show people how to do things, how you do things, and talk to you about communication generally. And we've talked to several people about the music industry, things like that. Well, this morning, I'm thinking about the myriad of creative ways to make content and to process information. So I'll give you insight into things that I do, the way that I do them, and I'm always recording Live with Dr. Ken with the most fresh perspective this morning, exactly what I'm thinking, exactly in the moment. So you can know that. So content, really, this is me doing it right now, right? I'm making some content for you. I'm hoping that it's helpful, but one of the primary principles is to consider your content a connection to another person. I'm not speaking because I like to hear myself talk this morning. I'm not just coming up with, hey, here's something to fill the internet with, or to expand my percentage use of my Google Drive from 97% to 98% before I have to purchase monthly service, okay? That is gonna happen. But let me just tell you that content is the flow of your identity, your creative product, the flow of you to another person. Think of content as you giving yourself to another person. And it's important to just maintain that, because there will be a lot of times when you are very tired of making content. And a few times you're actually tired of relationship with other people. You need to recharge and get alone, which we'll talk about at some point. Maybe even interview our good friend Dave Bunker for that. But I want to say that in the first process of the constant attention system and the way we do things at Visible, it is about your identity, primarily your identity in Christ as a Christian and as a believer in the Holy Word of God, and the Christian community, and a member of a church, a local church, and the universal church. We are constantly trying to embed our identity with Jesus Christ. Not just the man who lived here and showed us how to live, but really with the risen Christ, who came as Son of God, rose from the dead, still lives with the Father. And so, through the Holy Spirit, continues to regenerate our identity, helping me subjugate my identity into Him, to be remade, reborn every morning, and released in that. So that's the identity we're looking for, something activated, special, different, full, and Christian. Now, you may have other beliefs as you're watching this video. I'd suggest you look at Jesus Christ as the answer. I would say your identity is who your real person is, the depth of who you are. Spend some time on it. Even if you're not a Christian, content should come from who you are. We should be able to see that, tell that, feel that. All your favorite artists do that already. So that's what I talked about that before. But so coming from that identity, making content is an exercise of communicating that to another person, connecting to another person. It's important to remember that, because every little thing you do is also going to sustain your livelihood. And on the back end, sales creates money, build your team, feed your family, get Taco Bell, whatever. Don't get Taco Bell, it's terrible for you. But So, building content. So there's three things that I want you to think about when you're building content. One is connecting it to yourself. Two is the mode or the medium at which you're doing it. And three is the way you're connecting to people, where they're going to find it. Okay, so YouTube will give you all the exact ways. Here's how to connect to this, to this, to this. But there's different modes of presenting content. So in the mode, it of course visually, orally, touch, smell, taste, everything can be engaged over time. All five senses can be engaged over time if you think about your content in this way. Sometimes you have a music file. You're making an EP, let's say. That's the most common thing I run into. You're making an EP, so you have the music file, you want it to sound good. So you're gonna invest money, time, and energy in the process of making the audio sound good. You're gonna listen back, you're gonna take criticism, you're going to work with the team, you're going to pay money for a good studio, a good person who understands your music to do it. You're not gonna be lured away by some big producer who wants you to pay a lot of money and you're not ready yet. Just something that matches your identity, getting the audio content in a good, solid way to somebody. I will encourage you to be patient on this point. Making content audio-wise is very easy to do. I'm literally doing it right now on my phone, audio and video content this morning in my office. But is this the best possible recording scenario that I could imagine? No. It's good. I have a microphone and a good phone, and I'm doing this because it works for the medium I'm trying to connect, which is quick, video, interactive, natural. Okay, so audio-wise, you need to consider some quality and matched level of what your expense can be and what your audio level is, the audio level you can achieve, and where you're going with it. You don't want to get too much stuff out on the internet that is just average quality. It will haunt you later, I tell you. So you can only put these songs up once and have variations of it, and unless you're building, a small fan base locally and you want 100 people to know about you, be careful about the audio content you make. Okay, so that's the ears. Eyes, you need to make video content in the age of cameras, okay? Whatever age this is that's officially called, it's definitely the age of cameras watching you everywhere you go. So you expect that you are being filmed in every store you're in, every place you're at, in your car, passing under bridges. You are being photographed and videoed at all times. So just consider the level that you can get to. I suggest everybody start with a simple lyric video because it doesn't require much more than static images, and you can do this in a very simple program on your Mac or PC. So I suggest you demo regularly audio, right? Better and better, and you get better at doing audio, but also that you demo regularly video with some moving images. Take pictures from take your phone, download your phone into a laptop, get those pictures and put them into a montage of sorts, and learn how to do titling over the top for a lyric video. It's not super hard. There's also a few places this needs to be evergreen. This content I'm giving you today, evergreen means it's never gonna change what I'm telling you. So you can always come here and say, yes, he didn't give me a bad link that no longer exists, a company. So what I'm telling you is you can click on, you can just enter into your search, make a lyric video. Somebody's gonna show you how to do that. My point is to regularly demo that with yourself. Keep your channel private, keep some videos to yourself until it's good enough, and build that up. I've seen different audiences respond to different types of lyric videos, some that are flowery and flowing and connected and creative, some that are super flashy and jump cut, some that are super amateur and like purposefully home movie looking, and then some that are not good yet, and people love it. So hey, I don't know, depends on you. Do you want to be the one who has bad videos and they love it? I don't know. But for the ear, demo; for the eyes, video. And I want to also say something else. If you have any creative art here in the area of visual, drawing, illustration, painting, coloring, sculpting, things that people can see, if there's anything creative from you or the band, it is a bonus. I wouldn't overdo it unless you're, exceptionally creative. I would also demo that. I've made a lot of creative art pieces in my time that are just, people never knew about it. People don't know I even do it. So I just express this, and then here's, take some time to express content. That's what you're trying to do. And just like content is connecting to a community, connecting to somebody out there, practice this with your friends. Say, hey, I did this drawing, I want to put it as the album cover, blast me on it. What's wrong? It's like, it's not there yet, or it doesn't express the album or the band, so let's hold that. Just like you would demo songs and keep them in your phone or on your laptop, your drive for a long time. Keep the art pieces. Okay, I'm drawing, learn how to draw better, learn to find a certain niche style. This is me. That content can come because later people are very interested in how you do things. The more popular you get, or the more into you they are. So ultimately, you need either 1 million fans that kind of like you, or 1,000 fans that really love you. So let's get working on who you are and that identity coming out in content. So audio, visual. Now, what about the feel of something? That's the next one I feel like is pretty good on the merch table. Content with people, you're ultimately going to be presenting yourself live, audio, visually, and then the next thing is touch. From the materials you use at your content site, your merch table, your content presentation, the materials you use, everything you do changes the way people perceive you. So if you have lyric sheets or a poetry book or something, and you have that bound in leather, it's like, oh, okay, this is really neat. Or, okay, this is a different grainy, or it's rough. This is okay, it's a little stronger, metallic, things like that. Think about the way things feel, because people, when they interact with you, they get a response to how you're doing things. So for me, it's different when I wear a track jacket or something. People come up and hug me. They're like, "Oh, Ken's athletic." Okay, they feel that. Okay, cool. Or I wear, wintertime, I wear a different, scarf or something. It's like, "Oh, Ken's got a wool scarf from Scotland. That's really cool." Or so, it's like a texture thing. So that's a way to interact with fans, is through texture. They can see it sometimes if you put it in pictures. That's also communicated. But when they're in your presence, think about that. You're not just audio, not just video. It's the way you present things. It's a little bit, you may get some help also on the design of the table. You can talk at length about that, but the access people have to stuff, the way it feels, how they can interact with you is also, you can make that happen, to make them feel a certain way. Okay, so that's touch. Then now the smell of things, you're not going to always control the room you're in. It could be smoky club or whatever it may be. But your interaction, first you should, take care of yourself, personal hygiene. I got to tell artists that sometimes. It's like especially you're on the road. It's difficult. Spend a little bit more time. You are presenting you. Take care of yourself. Smell okay. But the things that you do, that there could be. I've seen artists with rose petals in things, or the leather idea. It does. Leather does have a smell to it. Paper changes people, the lead that you use on writing paper, to use softer lead and it smells like a book or something. Making, I guess you could make food, at your table and that kind of thing. I'm getting to that with the taste thing. But things that smell welcoming or strong or gentle, whatever you want to communicate, you are communicating you all the time. So when, if you're neutral smell, you're kind of communicating not much, but if you have a stronger smell of, expensive accessories or great cologne, those kind of things, that's gonna express itself. So That's part of giving content to people. Some of the things that I remember most are the textures of the t-shirts that I bought at a certain concert, or I love the way this little cartoon flicks through that. I can't believe they draw. Or I want a book, I want something that lasts more than a CD or something, or more than a download. So just remember, people want something that is a memento, something that reminds them of the moment. And so the last thing is taste. It's probably the least used, in kind of content delivery in the music world, but there can be snacks at the table, candy, things like that. People do remember it. People do come over because of the snack, and then they meet you, and then they buy a sticker, or they get to know you. Believe me, I've gotten gigs off of everything, all the way up to including having a WhatsApp from somebody, a dozen years ago, who just says, "Hey, do you play shows?" I'm like, yeah, I play shows. Every little interaction, the way you interact, the way you welcome people into your content space, that's all the things I'm talking about today. Sound, sight, touch, smell, and taste. Providing content, how to do that. My super last thing, it's number one was identity. Number two was the mode or the medium. That's how to do it. The mode or the medium in which you do that. And I use the 5 senses for that. All those mediums are there for how you do it. And then number three is basically how you organize your stuff for interaction with people. And we're going to get to that later. It's how you make the content. You can always click and find out how to build stuff, but I'm just encouraging you, connect it to your identity, think of the 5 senses, and then have an organizational scheme to what you're doing, that you maintain an ability to access that content and give it to people. So that's my encouragement for today. Live with Dr. Ken. Appreciate you listening in, and come back anytime. Check out the website. If you like this stuff, come to Visible as a college student. We have an online campus now. We have 1-year programs, 3-year bachelors. We're very innovative in the Christian college space for creative people, ministry, acting, dance, all that. So please look into it. Visible, visible.edu. Love to talk to you. Love to see you in person, and hope you are doing well, and get out there and start building content for people to touch, smell, taste, look at. Okay, see you next time on Live with Dr. Ken.